Excited to be talking today about how we need to be raising warriors again here in our community, here in our church, here in our world. And when we look at what's taking place in society, we look at all of the different things that are happening in our local elections that are happening this next week across Texas. We look at things that are being projected that are anti-biblical, anti-family. And we look at how people are actually wanting to go out there and how the politicians that are not following God's will, how they want to go out there and project that this is something that we should do. So there's a time right now where we have to reach out and we have to start letting people know, whether we're talking about being in Austin or whether we're talking about being in DC, that we have to start doing what Isaiah 53 says. And that is, whose report do we believe anyway? Do we believe God's report or do we believe man's report? And so we're excited to be talking to you today about that. And part of the hope that we're bringing through Pillar Nation is actually making sure that you're looking through the right set of lenses in your situation, in your circumstance. And there are plenty of people that are here that need to know that there is something that you can still do, because the people on the left, the people that are not with the widows and the orphans, they know that they're afraid of you catching fire and you realizing that one person can still make a difference. If Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today, I promise you he'd be censored. But that's right. But when we look at that, we realize that there is a great shift that's happening. Just look at the media. Look at what happened with all of the changes in corporate media. You've got Tucker Carlson on one side, you've got Lemon on the other, you've got a whole bunch of other people beneath them that are either being taken out or are being shifted to a different platform. So those are great indicators of the signs of our times, and that is the fact that people don't realize, the people that are on top realize that the country is shifting. The country is actually ready to take it back from those people that are not putting God first, that are not putting those things in action that should be happening. And you, right where you're at, you can make a difference. I was asked to be a guest speaker at an Eagle Scout ceremony yesterday. And one of the things that I talked about was the fact that we have to look at Isaiah 53 and not believe the report of man. You see, the report of man would say that this world is done. It would say that there's no hope. Just get in line, get your Star of David and get on a train and don't worry about where the train's going. But I can tell you that there are those people that they absolutely know. They know that God is doing something great, new, and he's changing lives. And you can be a part of that. I promise you there is revival that is coming. And it's not just limited to 3 or 4 people that, have some special relationship with God that, you never have had the time to develop. But that's not true. There are people that are sitting in living rooms across the United States and around the world that are being ministered to and touched by the hand of God. They're seeing their circumstances change. They're not tied to their circumstances. They're like Jesus in the boat. They're like Jesus in the boat when there's a storm coming and everybody in there is freaking out or asleep. And Jesus, what did he do? He spoke to the storm and he said, "Be still." And that is what we're here to help walk you through. How do you take the storms of your life and how do you make that still? How do you raise the warriors that we're talking about with your children, with that next generation? You see, I'm reminded of a group of people. There was a group of people that were military insurgents, and they had a mission to carry out. You see, they were moving into a new territory, and the leaders said, we need to go check it out and see what's going on. And so they did that. And when they did that, these spies went into this territory And as they went over there, they actually were looking for what was the opportunities. They got over there and they saw, man, there's, great fertile ground. There's plenty of water. There's plenty of trees and natural resources to make an economy out of. And but 10 of those people all said it couldn't be done because there was a military force that was superior to theirs. And so they came back. And when they came back, 10 of those people 100% said it can't be done. But 2 of those people said absolutely it can be done. And when they did that, they realized that all they had to do was focus on what God was doing and focus on God's heart and let Him be the source. Let Him be the guide. And that's what we need to do in our lives today. We need to allow God to rule and reign. But you see, we operate from a position of victory already. You see, if you're saved, if you're a Christian, if you're already a Christ follower, you already have all that you need. You have God's 100% power and authority to operate in this world. And that is one of the ways that we start raising that next generation now. We start raising those people to critically think, to listen to what's going on in their world. Is their teacher forcing them to wear a mask? Are they making them read books that we wouldn't allow them to read anywhere in our society? Are they teaching them to do things that are not right? I mean, in Texas right now, we're about to discuss legislation in the Texas Capitol that would vote up or down to allow children to be mutilated regarding all this gender transitioning thing of minors. Folks, if you know somebody that thinks that's okay, you need to pray for them. They are sincerely in a bad place. They are sincerely lost, and they don't think that it's wrong. Bill Maher made a comment. He said, Bill Maher is actually pointing out that this is crazy. He said, man, thank God that when I was a little kid and I wanted to be a pirate, thank God my parents didn't chop off my leg and pull out my eye and give me an eye patch. And I would say that that's something that we need to think about. There's real opportunities for us to influence the future of this great country. So in Texas, as an example, this week, we're going to be talking not only about voting up or down to allow parents and doctors to perform surgeries where they remove reproductive organs from children. It's a very big topic, but it all comes back to, what is God really doing? What is God allowing you to stand up for? How are you becoming a pillar of God? God in the Bible talks about a pillar of fire, and I've told some of the people, right? You can be, if you follow the fire, you don't have to worry where your feet are. And that's something that we need to get more in line with. We need to get more in tune with. We have an opportunity to be used by God, to be that pillar of fire. So I would just encourage you. It's not done yet. It's not finished. God has great things in store for you, your family, your grandchildren, and you can see the greatness that you desire to see happen in our society. But God wants to use you to be a part of it. So I just want to thank you for being a part of this kickoff event. We're so thankful to be involved at Friendship Church, where I serve as the executive pastor, and we're excited about what's happening not only in San Antonio, but in other parts of the country where God has taken us to, and we want to just be served by you and serve you and make sure that you know that you have an opportunity for God to be amazing in your life too. It's not just left for people that are pastors or ministers. You can have the fullness of God where you're at. So have a great day. Have a great Sunday. Go to Friendship Church. You can listen to the live service that we're streaming up there with Pastor Warren. You can follow me on social media. You can follow me on Americanic TV and some of the other platforms. So God bless you guys. Have a great day and go out there and be a blessing.